М. Ой. Та-да-тан-тан-тан-тара-тан. Так, окей, это мы смотрели.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 heavy workers' boots. Isn't this something an industrial worker would wear?
Noted.
Ага. Здорово, Церн. Так. Что тут у нас еще хорошего? Пойдем поговорим. Знаете, с кем? Пойдем с тобой поговорим.
Kuno, the pig's getting pretty close to me. Come to snuff my shit out, I think.
Подойти.
Looks like it's time for me to go, Kuno. Pig's come to take me in.
За пара вопросов.
Going away for a long, long time, Kuno. Going away for life.
Да, привет.
What's going on there? Fuck are you trying to pull, pig?
Так. Дитя. Дитя, поговори со мной.
You don't
Ладно,
want
за
to fuck
забором.
with me. I got my hands bloody. I'm not here, pig. You're not seeing this.
You can still see the top of her hat from behind the fence.
I'll die before I squeal. Murder was the case they gave me.
Ладно.
I'll die before I squeal. What's this kid shit? Fucking mind games. I'd rather die than squeal.
Get the fuck out of it!
Понятно.
Yes?
Kuno's got this.
Окей.
If there ever was such a thing as an ugly kid,
Ugly
then this
kid.
is it. He's almost exquisite in his ugliness, like a gremlin.
Послезавтра утром будет этот самый Expedition Rome. Его дадут запускать завтра вечером, но завтра вечером стрима не будет, будет только утренний дневной, так что Expedition Rome скоро.
Oh yeah, nappa gumpy, Kuno.
Так, минуточку твоего времени, пожалуйста.
Can't talk, pig. Shit's coming up strong. Throwing rocks.
Shit coming up strong. That sounds good. Joyous. You should hang out with this kid and see what that juicy shit is all about.
Сочное чего?
I mean drugs. The kid's on drugs.
Yeah, Kuno, ride the lightning, Kuno.
Kuno's riding at sea.
The rake, Kuno. You should throw the rake at him, Kuno.
The fuck does Kuno know what a rake is? Kuno's not a gardener.
Окей. Что будем делать, Ким?
We shouldn't do anything. I don't tempt such forces. You
Forces?
will see.
The language these kids are using, pure unfettered id. There will be no reasoning with those creatures.
Так. Хочешь вместе потусоваться, пацаны? Я не
Fuck
наркозыры.
no. Kuno doesn't buy that shit. Fucking entrapment shit.
Пара вопросов.
Alright, entertain the Kuno. Show me what you got. What you got there? What you got, huh? Show
Shit.
me what you got.
Господи, что ты знаешь о трупе?
Shitload, pig. What's your question?
Медас? Дичик
Tell the
прекрасно.
pig shit, Kuno.
Что мы
If I
хотим
were
узнать?
to want to waste my time, which I do not, I would ask them who he is, how he got there, and the usual.
The usual being, have you seen anything out of the ordinary? Or have you seen anything suspicious?
Так. Ты знаешь, кто это был?
Kuno's fuck imp. Kuno uses the fucking for target practice.
Господи. Fuck him.
He's trying to hide the fact that he doesn't know.
То есть ты ничего не знаешь?
Kuno knows all kinds of shit. Kuno's not a snitch, that's all. Trying to make the Kuno sing into the popo phone.
Окей. Ты знаешь, кого попал на дерево? Нет, видео подозрительное. Что-нибудь.
Just a couple of pigs sniffing around in the dirt. That seems pretty fucking suspicious to Kuno.
Да иди ты.
Yeah, you tell the faggoty Kuno.
Looks like you're a faggoty now, whatever that means. The suspicious question doesn't really work in antagonistic
Окей.
situations.
Ты знаешь, кому попал на дерево?
Probably climbed. Kuno was busy. You heard Kuno. Kuno wasn't even in Martinez. Kuno wasn't in Revachol. Kuno wasn't regional.
Окей, где ты был?
I don't know. Some fucking Mesk or I don't know. Some other place. Night City. Kuno was in
Night
fucking
City.
Night City.
There is no Night City anywhere. That sounds like the name of a city
Ты
in some
тролл.
old science fiction novel.
Сити не существует, чувак.
Why you gotta be riding Kuno's ass? You haven't been where Kuno's been. You haven't been in Kuno's head. You wanna know where Kuno was? You wanna know what Kuno's been fucking up to?
Don't tell him that, Kuno. It's lame.
It's not fucking lame. Kuno's building Kuno's City. Night City. Rage City. The City of Rage. That's it.
City of Rage.
Not lame.
It's not lame.
Lame.
That's the name of Kuno's City, bitch. Get the fuck off Kuno's back. This shit ain't about that.
Господи.
It's impossible to deduce what it is about, at least for the moment. If it's important, it will come up later. Focus on the case.
Куна Сити, это прекрасно просто. Чё за бред? Ладно.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Так. Часто играете на этом
Right,
дворе?
pig. This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. What do you want with it?
Лазал по лестнице.
Look at that fucking shit. You're trying to get Kuno killed.
То есть нельзя.
Fuck does Kuno know? Kuno's not a fucking acrobat.
The lieutenant takes a quick note in his notebook.
It's a trap, Kuno. Don't climb it, Kuno.
Что в той теплице?
Dunno. Kiptas gardener used to work there.
Окей.
Is a pejorative term used to describe people of South Seminese or Areopagite descent. It used to be a common first name among the Areopagites of Ilmara. Not so much anymore.
Раньше ты про девушку танцев и трепье, это садовница?
Look, Kuno doesn't explain shit. Kuno just says shit.
Сыщет.
Yeah, her.
Ага.
What was she doing in the greenhouse in March anyway? What kind of gardening is done in March? Yes, it seems suspicious. You don't like things being like that. Suspicious.
Suspicious. Мусорный
Don't
покой.
be wondering about Kuno's shit, pig.
Так, подожди, вот это.
Fuck does Kuno care about your hunch? Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Да, ладно,
Kuno
пойду.
doesn't.
Doesn't fuck. Does not fuck about it. Because Kuna is.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags.
Что был?
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags. Force time isn't happening. You've jammed the pry bar under the lid, but it just isn't bending.
Да можно здесь сохранюсь. Так, какого хера?
The quality of metal is not the problem. From what I see, it's sturdy enough.
He's enjoying your little failure. He finds it amusing. He's reveling in sweaty rage on your face.
Не
Not just
знаю,
the
не
manager
мое.
key. This is clearly not working.
Ну, не мое. То есть, как бы, прикольно. не мое, это я за километр могу сказать. Мне бы это армию вперед поводить, еще и какой-то херней заниматься. Что за херня?
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, eternite.
Восприятие.
Because there's a secret door hidden behind the panels of eternite. That's why they're too orderly.
Сдвинуть.
There it is. You see a shabby little door.
Текстовые квесты. Ну, наверное. Ну, просто как-то это забавно, конечно. Не, я говорю, это забавно. 0 очков опыта, класс. Оно забавное. Текст хороший. Но это я... Ходить что-то искать... Ой. Хотя в РПГ я этим занимаюсь иногда. Просто с моим топографическим кретинизмом, феерической удачей, подслеповатостью и общим идиотизмом такие игры противопоказаны, потому что в итоге я просто теряю на них нервы.
What is this then? A tool shed? Let's investigate.
Ой, иди в жопу. Не только не Япония. Нет, нет. No, God, please, no! 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 Только, сука, не Япония. Нет, пожалуйста, нет, нет. Сучья Япония, нет. Все, у меня вьетнамские флешбеки. Мы его теряем, мы его теряем. Нет, Паскаль, нет. Нет. Только не это. Так, ладно. Что это такое? Что за фигня? 40 рублей. У меня целый рубль есть, нам нужно.
Be still, my beating heart. It's amphetamine. Sweet amphetamine.
Я Японию прошел, по-моему, 2 части Японии прошел, кроме последней. Сам по себе квест не самый сложный. Самый адский квест, который я видел, который я вообще не понял, что с ним делать, это Day of Tentacle. Вот это я с ума сошел. Я не помню. Я прошел до того момента, когда главного героя унесло, а его условно злобный близнец начал что-то дельное делать. По-моему, я последнюю часть не играл, по-моему, или нет. Я, по-моему, 2 прошел. Чтобы пройти, потому что я не могу впитывать тонны текста, не забавляя геймплеем. Но я прошел 2 точно прошел. Остальное не знаю. Но я сгорел. То есть я просто сгорел, тем более, что персонаж меня настолько бесил. Или трилогию я прошел, а Doomsday не прошел. Короче, не помню. По-моему, 2 точно прошел, 3 не знаю, не помню.
The
Может,
lieutenant
пошел.
isn't studying the powder in the mirror. He's studying you. There's a good vague way to ask where he stands on drug use. Professionally, I mean.
Понятно. Так. Здесь кто-то принимал наркотики. Может, полиции стоит вмешаться?
Perhaps not. This is below our pay grade, detective. However, see that ladder there? It's probably another way into the industrial harbor, no? A secret path the local kids use.
Что такое? Блин. Мне не нравится. I don't like it much. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. Outer Worlds. Да, хочу Outer Worlds, но нужны DLC-шки дорогие. Хочу Outer Worlds. Так. Слушай, я тебя хотел спросить, Паскаль. Ты говоришь, что надо Reforged версию, а Fallen God тогда что? Матерь Пресвятая Богородица. Так, подожди. Так, начнем с коробочки. Ух, какой у нас хороший подфайдинг-то. Стой. Отдельная компания. А. Что за фигня? Гран Курон. None the fuck is this? Цена 13 центов. Ладно. Да, я сейчас сохраняюсь, я дебил. Все нормально. А то я знаю, как долбанусь. Я долбанный Морган Фримен, смотрите. Нет! 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 Дипония. Дипония кейс, он Дипония. Нет! Гудбай, Дипония. О, господи. За что мне это? Нет! Ну, почему? Ну, за что? Ну, почему? Какие вы сволочи все. 90 центов. Нет. Спасибо, Церн, будь проклят. Привет, мистер Икс.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here.
Нет, в смысле, спасибо, Паскаль, ты будь проклят. Оба вы будьте прокляты с вашей Депонией. Будь проклята, Депония. Будь проклят тот день. Блин, реально психушку рано или поздно заберут с вашими приколами. Депония, ну почему Депония? Ну почему именно Депония? Ну, почему не знаю что. Почему не делать сишки Outer Worlds? Вот вам всем. Плохие люди, плохие, плохие. Сейчас у меня жидкость кончилась. Без никотина я не работаю. Все. Депония в стиме по скидке 90%. Ну, вообще, да. Да нет, сам по себе просто... Как устроен квест, на самом деле, если посмотреть механику Депонии, то он, в принципе, довольно неплохая игра сделана. С любовью к квестам сделана. Причем с квестом старым 90-х, там, начало 2000-х, даже, я бы сказал, середина 90-х, начало 2000-х. Ну, типа там Tales of Monkey Island или ну, типа того. Сделано с любовью, сделано, или Space Quest, или там еще что-то такое. Сделано с любовью, сделано со знанием дела. Задание, ну, догадаться можно. Ну, я прошел. С моими мозгами я прошел. Нормально. Вот. То есть, проблем нет. Просто меня так выбешивает сюжет, и меня отдельно так выбешивает главный персонаж, что хочется просто убивать. Убивать людей. Убивать много людей. Много людей убивать. Я не говорил, что я коммунист, да? Так, кто-то там оставил свой плащ.
Yes, it's probably yours. It bears the RCM insignia, and you have a habit of being careless with your equipment.
Да, Space Quest крутой. Ну так и там же, я знаю, что это не совсем связанная вещь, но тем не менее, там же вроде два, King's Quest и Space Quest. И я не знаю, Space Quest, конечно, адовый, но то, что творился King's Quest, или как он там назывался, типа, ну, короче, это прям просто атас. В плане заданий и попытки понять, какого хрена от тебя хотят. Прям беда с ними. Так, я набрал 3 рубля из сотни.
You could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field in your day.
Глядеться по
The
сторонам.
wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous crane towering in the distance over
Ого.
the container yard. The look in his eyes is a mix of the engineer-like interest and the wonder of a 6-year-old seeing a horse for the first time.
Хера себе, какой здоровый экран.
Yes, that's one way of putting it. It's certainly an impressive achievement of engineering. But I digress. We were focusing on your cloak here.
Окей. Так. Ай, хер.
Nope, no. That's still too high. What were you thinking? You're not a gymnast. You're a boxer. And you've climbed way too high up here. You could have died there. Shit, 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 shit. I'm failing you. This wasn't part of our deal.
I got you, Gratan. Let me just adjust your breathing a little bit. There, isn't that better?
Так, прекрати галстук.
Hey, what's happening? You okay?
Не могу дышать.
It's okay. You're just having a little panic attack. Try to breathe as slowly as you can, alright?
The necktie lets go a little. It's a vicious grip easing around your neck.
Спасибо.
Good. We can always come back when you're feeling better. It's just a cloak after all.
Ладно. Подожди, стой. А туда мы попасть можем? Господи, как все сложно. Туда мы попасть не можем, походу. Пам-па-ба-па-ба-пам. Нос чешется. Такс. Нет, смущает это все, конечно.
The corpse looks at you,
Да, да,
seem
да.
to be hold a cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural.
Я понял. Так, туда мы пока не побежим, пойдем. Нахер полицию. Ну давай.
The RCM in Martinez. What can I help you with?
Ты удивлена?
We don't see a lot of police around here. That's all.
Вопросы.
Of course. What can I help you with?
Что ты делаешь в теплице в марте?
Well, this might be the last snow we get. At least I hope so. Snow has nutrients in it. Helps everything green up in the spring. At least that's what my grandma always told me.
Yes, think about the cute grandma, not the weird snow.
Визуальный анализ.
All you can see is the fact that her skin is a different color from yours. That's literally all. You're gonna have to run with that.
Ты чернокожая.
What does that mean?
Чё
I
слушаешь?
don't know. Whatever's on the radio, I guess. What does this have to do with snow or gardening in March?
She seems more perplexed than cornered.
Слушаешь диско?
I'm gonna say no.
We should probably proceed with our business in Martinez. Unless you have more official questions.
Нам нужно узнать дорогу.
Of course. Where to?
Да где я
What
сейчас?
do you mean?
Это Ревашоль, да?
Yes, sir. District of Martinez. This intersection is called Roundabout North.
He
Окей.
knows where we are. He just wants directions.
Что на севере?
There's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings, some more tenements. Not a lot, really.
Восток.
The harbor gates, some kind of commotion, I think. I don't follow the local politics. A fleet store, too.
Что на юге?
Some shops and a bridge. The canal bridge leads to the coast, but it's broken, I think. Some kind of accident, probably.
Окей, а что на другой стороне?
Just coast. There's a little fishing village there, and a fish market. But that got closed down ages ago.
Окей, что на западе?
It's just water.
Just
No,
вода.
actually, I think they call it the Martinez Inlet. There are some islands in the bay, but they're hard to reach.
Так, ладно.
No problem.
Окей, пора бежать. А нахер полицию это что?
Excuse me?
She's uncomfortable. Maybe you should drop this line of questioning.
На знаке написано нахер полицию.
Oh. Well, I didn't write it there. I'm just sitting here. Okay. Of course.
Her gloves. You get the
Aw.
feeling that you need them. You have a dead body to deal with after all.
Можно одолжить твои перчатки?
Sure. Keep them. I have another pair.
Так, моргай. Если что, то я для кого делал свистоперделки, которые эти самые перемещаются? Специально для таких случаев. Надо посмотреть на свистоперделку вокруг вебки. Если свистоперделка шевелится, все в порядке. Если не шевелится, все плохо. Че я хотел? Ключ. По-моему, я сам пьяный, нет? Что-то я уже сам. Вообще отличный. Склерозник-стример играет склерозного мента. Все нормально.
Can I help you?
Так. Мусорный бак на заднем дворе твой?
Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked?
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash there and they don't pay
Yeah.
for the garbage company.
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container?
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you.
Так, что такое? Что не
Prod
так?
at him and find out.
А это не бессердечно даже объедки прятать от бедняков?
Callous? What are you? Kras Mazov? Almost all establishments in Revachol keep their trash locked. The Whirling in Rags is not special in that regard.
Окей.
Krasmazov, nom de guerre, was an economist and a historical materialist. He was a leading figure on the Grad side of the Centennial Revolution, where he headed the 9-day government. Mazov is considered the father of scientific communism, Mazovian thought, or Mazovianism.
Расскажи
He
подробнее.
killed himself.
Эй! Что если и правда
What are
Красмазов?
we talking about? Was this not about the trash container?
Да, вернемся.
Was there something you wanted?
Ключи давай.
What for? Mazov? Are you planning to nationalize my trash container?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please.
Я собираюсь спеть здесь караоке.
Absolutely out of the question.
Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger. Then we sing this place to shit. Your body is ready, sire.
What
Так, а что увидел? Почему мне нельзя на кухню?
Cook now? That's none of your business.
Но,
He wasn't
кулики?
pan-fried. He was lynched. What could the kitchen possibly have to do with... Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. because the cook is working.
Окей.
Snoop around after that, if you must.
Профсоюз.
Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
On
He
time.
hates the union, but grudgingly recognizes its power over him. So he's directing his frustration at you instead.
Жаль, что чтобы тебе не разориться, приходится присмыкаться перед профсоюзом. Но тут есть профсоюз.
I don't. I'm simply providing a service, or really facilitating the offering of services to paying customers, and it doesn't matter. I don't have to explain myself to you.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info.
Как нам их
We
найти?
don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking men. If not today, then they'll be here tomorrow.
Так они озвучены.
There are these things called days. You sleep between them. He's saying they'll come after you've slept.
Ой.
Just make it clear you got that.
Вот тебе в лицо нафиг фонариком, на тебе в лицо Ладно.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling.
Свидание так. Что ты хочешь на русише? Текст русский. Глаза есть? Текст читать умеем? В школу ходили? Какой я шутник. Ой, как я себе нравлюсь. У меня погружение в образ. Уровень получил. Я там уровень получил? Подожди, я получал уровень. Что? Оу, а что делать? Окей. Подожди, 5 очков? А чё? Подожди. Где нарисовано, сколько у меня очков? Мажор перк. Мажор перка риторика. Избавь шутник, что еще 4 быстрее среднего. А что значит коронный? Так, я не понял. А вот базовый я могу повысить? А, нет, иди в жопу, я понял. Не, ну риторику, а я понять не имею. Ну, драк, отстань, первый раз играю. Тебе ничего повышать. Окей. Принять. Такс, подожди секунду. Возвращаемся к ящику. Будь он трижды проклят. Я Морган, сука, Фриман, только пьяный. С фонариком, сука, и монтировкой. Где здесь хэдкраба? Открывай.
This trash container is locked. With a
Открывай.
well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't.
Maybe you shouldn't. Оно сожрет себя. Нет! Концовка тебя разочарует.
Maybe you shouldn't. Of course you should. This is your time to shine, Hobocop.
Hobocop?
Dive into that dumpster for extra content.
Экстра контент. Экстра контент. Открыть крышку.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
Так,
You're
продолжить.
just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
Бомжекоп!
Wow, an Armistice caliber 50 knock cannon, half wrapped in paper tissues. So shiny.
Что такое ружье? Кстати, давно не играл в стрелялки.
It's a giant rifle, and it's very expensive. Not as expensive as that fat string of pearls
Не то, чтобы я
snaking around
хотел.
the rotten banana peels, however.
Окей.
And is that Cordon Electric's preamp with Electra F2 tubes? It is. That catches quite a price. We're talking 12,000. Easy. Unless you're into hi-fi yourself.
Окей, я его продам.
No, you won't. Because none of those things are real.
Скотина.
All you see is food waste and crisp wrappings.
Нет. Ну что-то здесь должно быть.
All you see is a broken mug with a racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron.
Забрать кружку.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in your inventory.
Окей. Заглянуть под картонные коробки.
You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar.
Ну, ладно.
A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below, and turbo noodles. Nothing of
Какой
note,
помощник?
however.
Так, упаковка из-под макарон обшит турбо. Окей, заглянуть под картонные... Подожди, это я заглянул под картонные. Да, я заглянул. Так, приподнять тряпки.
Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers.
Джинсы?
As the legs of
Что
the
от риторики?
slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
Фу!
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay.
Фу! Кому это понадобилось? А, ну не
Drop
знаю,
them in
наверное.
here, officer.
Джинсы в пакет.
Glitter marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but the belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye.
Протянуть руку.
A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
Положить рубашку в
This is a
пакет.
military type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. Just garbage.
Кажется, здесь больше ничего.
We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
Думаешь, кто-то из танцев может быть замешан?
Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked and his establishment had the key. It's
Okay.
just a small loose thread.
The fuck's he on about? Kids? Hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
Это, блин, дети Ира какие-то долбанутые.
See?
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container.
Пищевые отходы.
It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels, mostly. Unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey,
Эй,
nothing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here. What's this?
what's this? What?
A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something.
Вытащить.
Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting.
Где?
Officer, is that your paperwork?
Я не знаю, что это.
It is. Look, the plastic has the RCM street grid. You've even got an autopsy form in there.
Я лучший полицейский в этом городе, сука.
If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash?
Наверное, он портил мой стиль.
Officer, this is an official piece of paperwork. It probably contains notes on numerous ongoing investigations, and could even list undercover operatives, informants. I suggest integrating it into your style for all of
Да, окей, слышь, азиат,
It would
окей.
also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your inventory.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
И знаете, что это больше всего напоминает? Мне напоминает это одновременно две игрушки. Beyond Steel Sky в меньшей степени, но в большей степени мне это напоминает старый Blade Runner, который я на стрим никак ни руками не дойду, не пройду. Но по сути это ж квест.
That's one thing I've done.
Хороший квест.
I think we got it all.
Прям хороший, но тем не менее это квест. Так. Чё за херня? Взаимодействовать, кружка. Так, стоп, не взаимодействовать. Сохраниться, я не умер, это уже достижение.
It's
Взаимодействовать.
just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not
Да,
much.
да ладно.
Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
Третий вариант классный. Эта кружка еще пригодится. Порицая ее, я смогу заработать политический вес, который поможет скрыть мои сомнительные делишки, то есть подлог и растрату. Неужели ни у кого не осталось... Нет, неужели ни у кого не осталось чувства юмора?
Understood. You're that kind of detective. Why don't you get back to your case?
That kind of detective. KK.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell
Очки
of
пора
your rhino
заказывать,
cleaner.
совсем уже. Так, что-нибудь еще?
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard.
Фу.
It's a metaphor for you.
Хорошо.
Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart.
Так, осмотреть туалетную бумагу.
It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want.
Может быть, это бумажное полотенце?
If you want it to be kitchen tissue, it can be kitchen tissue. It's not though. It's toilet paper.
Ладно, убрать.
Still wet, the toilet paper, I mean kitchen tissue, sorry, peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off your finger and voila, the ledger now looks marginally better.
Понюхать журнал.
The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner.
Какой кошмар. Ладно, осмотреть планшет.
It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface.
Хочу читалку себе
On the
купить
back, you see the
когда-нибудь.
embossed letters.
Я не вывожу сейчас книги с экрана читать. Там Тосер попросил лекцию по этому самому, по кристаллу роста, а я очень медленно сейчас читаю, я с экрана не вывожу читать. Глаза слишком все. Так, встряхнуть журнал.
Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment? Permeables. It's not hidden per se. The compartment is made for permeable materials that would get damaged if something happened to it.
Заглянуть внутрь.
The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center.
Какого, говоришь, он цвета?
Blue. The blue heart. Don't look into it.
И как его открыть?
With your hands, you four-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board.
Подожди, техника пока подожди. Смотри зажим.
An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached.
Я
to
надеюсь,
the
мне
clip.
вручат премиум ТВ. Ну или хотя бы Муз-ТВ. Провести рукой за самое лучшее расследование. Провести рукой по алюминиевой полоске.
The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before.
Lieutenant! The fuck is that?
What? That thing. It's a halogen watermark. We use it for adding information to RCM property.
Так, интересно, какие именно данные?
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
Хочу этот же квест, только хочу эту же игру, только от лица лейтенанта. Сука, что он творит? Сука, что с ним не так? Почему он в таком состоянии?
Maybe yours will have how many cases you've solved. How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking. It'll have that.
Окей, как мне это прочесть?
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do.
Например?
All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks.
О,
Mine too.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight.
белые страницы посмотреть. Ну да.
They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
Окей, о чем это?
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you.
Ooh.
It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average.
Так, 2 дела в неделю — это нормальная загруженность?
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes.
Кажется, я брал по 2 дела в неделю, но я не уверен, что раскрыл их.
2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me.
Наверняка... Да, я совсем выгорел,
It's
наверное.
okay. We all do, sooner or later.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
Так, ладно. Принципы наименования.
Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet,
Названием,
still
оу.
more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. A title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show statements.
Так, СПБ. Весперских. Окей, они все написаны заглавными буквами.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case.
Solvable. А еще...
Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the Ukar parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout.
Окей.
It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
Ким, мои дела, кажется, имеют какой-то принцип наименования. Ким,
You
Ким!
mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene?
Нет, с заголовками.
Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does.
In your. Ну, почему?
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
Ну, логично. Что за квадратная пулина?
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. What did I name it to amuse myself?
Профессиональное чувство юмора.
I pray his loved ones never find out.
А что с ним
Rail
случилось?
spiked through the head. He died. It was a
Ой, ё.
workplace accident.
Так, мне нужно официально открыть дело. Есть еще место?
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish.
Окей.
Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete.
Изложить в письменном виде.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the kind green ape pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity.
Да, правильно.
Inspect the victim's body. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place.
Вычеркнуть то, что уже
A
сделано.
satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name
Милиша,
the
кстати, он
case.
реально говорит Милиша. Не давал название нашему делу,
No,
чувак?
actually. Any ideas?
Заходящее солнце.
Okay, okay. It's a good name, but it has one problem. This case has nothing to do with the setting sun.
Да ладно!
It has nothing to do with that. So,
So...
something more concrete, perhaps? Do you have something concrete, mundane, usual?
Usual is boring.
Usual is
We
boring.
don't do that.
We don't do that. Демоны ярости живут в зеркалах.
Furies. Yes, well, I don't know. I have to be honest, I'm not experiencing the internal strife that it refers to. And also,
Зато я испытываю.
could you make it less poetic somehow? Just a normal...
Yes,
О,
yes,
господи,
you know
боже мой.
what that normal name is, but it's so plain. Anything else, please.
Ладно, повешен.
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too.
Да хрен с ним.
The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
Так, становится начну называть хорошо. Окей, я наизучался 4.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
4.
In the back, you see thin, translucent copy of paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out.
Просто озвучивать текст, во-первых, я сдохну озвучить весь текст, во-вторых, актеры озвучания очень сильно старались. Честно говоря, мне озвучка страшно нравится. Страшно нравится, она обалденная. Перекрывать его своим бесполезным, нет, как это называется. Короче, перекрывать его кощунством.
Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form.
Okay, what type of form?
3. The topmost are
Штрафы за
misconduct
нарушение
fines.
общественного
The
порядка.
middle ones are station calls. And the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work.
Я пока тут чай пил, еще что-то посмотрел. Помните фильм «Паразиты»? Фильм «Паразиты» мне не очень понравился, но это хрен с ним. И фильм «Паразиты» у этого режиссера в 2003 году вышел очень хороший фильм. Называется «Воспоминания об убийствах». Или об убийствах, да? Вот. И вот фильм... Добро пожаловать. И вот фильм «Воспоминания об убийствах» оказался, на удивление, прям отличный. Он такой детективно-психологический. Не могу сказать, что быстрый, то есть он не про триллер, там не бегают все с пистолетами, но он как-то вот прям хорош. Я всегда так его обнаруживаю, знаете, там выйдет какой-то супер крутой фильм, смотришь на режиссера. И обязательно в его предыдущем этапе его карьеры там есть фильм, который гораздо лучше сделал. Паразиты. Паразиты снято хорошо, но как всегда. То есть мне это достаточно, для меня это слишком простенько, вот и все. Так, штраф за нарушение общественного порядка. Нажимай.
A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields. But they appear pleasantly vague.
Повестка.
These are quite sinister in turn. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the
Ну,
specified
понятно.
precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing.
Это не значит, что «Паразиты» плохой фильм. Это значит, что они просто простые. То есть то же самое. Ну, сейчас сложных фильмов не снимают, походу, или я не напарываюсь на них. Давно не снимают. Вскрытие на месте.
A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs.
Фу. Ладно, закрыть бланки.
Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and
Bad
field
guys.
autopsies to dead guys.
Bad guys. Сейчас, секунду. Меня... О, за мной подсматривает Гог, походу. Но это я шучу. На Гоге скидки на квесты. В частности, на Сайберию и ремастер Грим Фантанго. Грим Фантанго 50% скидки, Сайберия 85% скидки на Гоге. Так.
The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copy of paper.
Сейчас будем кидать. Ролим. Логика. Средняя. Не могу теперь знакомиться с делом.
Yes,
Могу,
you can piece
спасибо.
them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 41120111700, the next world mural.
Раз это не код, офицер участок.
Why, yes, your precinct number is 41.
Нет. Только страдания, ЦЕРН. А ГДБ?
Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials.
Рам Дарьян Бензакин?
Yeah, no.
Окей. И оно... Игра издевается. Сколько времени займет ознакомление с делом, чувак?
It takes about half an hour to piece one together using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start?
Так, я вернусь к этому позже.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
6 техника. Ролим.
The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just, you know,
Крыть.
without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
Окей. Что внутри?
2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
50 рублей только что. Взять билеты.
2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there too.
Окей, взять открытку.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
Сперва понюхать.
It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored.
Ну, пока не знаю. Это квест Hellhound. Просто он в хорошем движке, и поэтому так это... И отлично написано, озвучен вообще феерически. Но это квест, ничего особенного. Так, извините, тут всякое. Так.
A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti.
С плейнскейпом. Ну, если ты так считаешь. Окей. Так, открыть.
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters.
Кстати,
In a
плейнскейп я на
woman's
стриме не
hand.
проходил тоже. Ну ладно, это потом дойдем когда-нибудь. Женская рука. Ну, женская так женская.
A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile. You think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I
Гарри,
want
меня
to
зовут
write you a
Гарри.
letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy.
Извините. Так. Гарри так Гарри. На плейскейп я глянул бы. Но сейчас ситуация такая, что все заказы так как получается, что вечерние, так всем удобнее. Поэтому ближайшие, вот когда я закончу со всем этим, вот, тогда, я думаю, так будет. Но пока что так будет, что завтра, наверное, все-таки Baldur's Gate будет, надо продолжать его. Потом, послезавтра у меня будет Рим-экспедиция днем. Я какое-то время буду играть в Рим-экспедицию по днем. По вечерам будут заказы, соответственно, которые накопились с декабря месяца. Большое всем, конечно, спасибо за поддержку. Но, пожалуйста, не забывайте поддерживать еще, потому что то, что вы заказали в декабре, ой, было потрачено в декабре. Ну, не суть. Короче, в заказах, получается, у нас лекции. Нет, нормально все. Лекции. Давайте планов. Baldur's Gate уже пройден. У меня там сейчас Драгонспир проходится. То есть Драгонспир на Baldur's Gate. Потом второй Baldur's Gate. Короче, вся серия, вообще говоря, Серебряного века, движка Infinity должна быть пройдена. Вот, ну это ладно, это глобальный мой личный план. Просто, поскольку ключ дают от экспедиции Ром, я поиграю в экспедицию Ром днем. А по вечерам, соответственно, у меня что? У меня лекции, у меня вот 2 стрима Disco Elysium, первый сейчас, второй еще один будет, и... Третий был дурень, пока непонятно. О, господи, боже мой. И паскалевский, этот самый, Spellforce 3, Reforced, блин. Да, вроде все. Вроде все пока. Привет, посидим. Окей, так, мне захотелось написать тебе письмо, чтобы ты смог, да.
Throw it away, please.
Нет, продолжить чтение.
Your hand shakes, holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road.
Так, я сейчас расстроюсь.
Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you.
Пока хватит.
You jam the compartment shut. It's hard to breathe. The air in your lungs feels sour somehow. The drawer is locked. Blue ink drips from the white pages in your hand.
Потом. Окей, ладно, все. 8. Что ты от меня хочешь? Да, это же был инвентарь. Так.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint.
Окей, что это за свет?
From a
Откуда?
distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, Nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights and they solve shit.
Слушай, так. Ну ладно. Я в последнее время очень упорно шел к этой
Yeah.
славе.
You have.
Yep.
You're a big dick cop. Dick Mullen. Salam Rocky Bayi. Badass on the edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera. Lights.
Матуар.
With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you. And you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against a rasterized orange
Huh?
world. It's on.
Ой. What the fuck is going on? Прикольно. Такс. Окей, что нам надо теперь? Пойдем выясним, кто мы. Мы Гарри, это я уже понял. Это что за херня?
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out.
Тим, как включить фары?
Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
Он же коп, суперзвезда. Ты коп, Гарри! Гарри, ты коп!
His excitement. The lieutenant is more than happy to show off his precious carriage.
Ладно,
The
запуск.
dashboard lights up with orange glow. The rounds per minute gauge jumps, and the engine of the Caprice Canary comes to life with a
Ай!
growl.
Эй, фары.
The lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle.
There you go. I'll
Так.
turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
Я боюсь тут уже.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you.
There she is. Revachol West.
Окей.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations.
Посмотреть на мерцающую сетку улиц.
The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlights.
Где мы на этой штуке? Давай
A
смотрим.
rat brazenly darts past you and disappears amongst the stopped lorries. In the distance, a child samurai shrieks. A woman reprimands her in a voice no quieter than the child's cry.
Ah, Martinez.
Где мы на этой штуке?
Let me see. Right here.
Кажется, тут мило.
No, it does not.
Осмотри
There are
перфорацию.
many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows.
Посчитать дырочки в каждом ряду.
The first row has 18 dots.
А в следующем?
The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then some.
Посчитать.
There are so many, it's hard to count. More than 150, at least. Maybe even 200.
А что в последнем ряду?
The last row has 3 perforations.
3?
That's it.
Слушай, Ким, для чего тут столько дырочек?
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look.
Alpha male officers who are proud of their numbers often do. It's meant.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
Так. На. Ну ладно, наверное, работал в какой-нибудь конторе.
No shame in working a regular job, detective. Sometimes after a long day of doing this, I even envy it. Let's move on, shall we?
Ну давай.
This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see, wow, more than 200.
Это много?
It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers.
Так, окей. Ладно, я был хорош. Что ж, в этом есть какое-то утешение. Ну а что значит последняя цифра?
Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there.
То есть я убийца.
For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way.
Окей.
There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to
Дали
solve the
пистолет,
case,
сказали,
it's
сам
usually
кручусь.
very easy.
Да-да-да.
But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
Ким, убивал?
Yes,
It's not a problem for him to state it, however.
Как справляешься с напряжением?
everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies.
Какие?
Oh, this and that. Let's not get into it now.
И может мне найти хобби?
Why not gardening? You've already got the yellow gloves.
Спасибо.
It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab.
Ладно, спасибо за
The
помощь.
lieutenant nods.
Идем.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics on your journal page, to the right of the task description.
Ну-ка. Коп суперзвезда 4, коп апокалипсис, жалкий коп, коп зануда, коммунист. Хороший хоп, коп 2, раскрыто дело 216. Сейчас сдохну. В бардак-то. Так. Ладно, хп в жопе, все плохо, пойдем. Пойдем хоть тело попробуем осмотреть, я не знаю, спустить его как-то, не без понятия, честно. Так. Суперзвезда коммунист. О, да.
There he still is, looking right through you.
Active decay.
Да, это я видел.
Blow! Cop's gonna blow, Kuno!
The smell is repulsive. It pushes in.
А, давай. Нет, темпус. Коммунист, как ты видишь, 2 раза больше, чем фашист.
You feel a great force ringing from your stomach. Your body curls and pushes it out, burst by burst, until a pool of vomit lies under your feet, and your throat stings from the stomach acid.
Keep it.
Спасибо.
The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head.
Ну, а где достать?
There is Frit nearby, east of the hostel. They usually have a small apothecary. If they don't,
Окей.
there's a greenhouse here, and a gardener with a wheelbarrow on the corner of the whirling in rags. If she works here, she might have something for the smell.
Pretty clever.
Acquiring ammonia will provide a modifier to the white check. Modifiers make checks easier and allow you to retry them.
Ладно. Какой геморрой с вами со всеми, ужас. Пацаны эти еще с камнями-мнями. Где там эта крестьянка?
Hello again, officer.
Нашатырь.
Sure, I'm done with it. Go easy on that stuff.
Окей. Так, подожди-ка. Да не ты, ты. Ага. Ты ужасно кидаешь кости. Да и... Знаю я себя. Опять что-нибудь не так сделаю.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The ammonia only makes it worse. The combination forces tears out of your face. You managed to keep it in once.
Становится еще хуже, класс.
The second time, not so much. When the vomiting is done, your cheeks are wet with tears.
Ой, вообще не помог.
Nor does the wind right now.
The weight is reassuring, like a crenel on solid fortification. Pat, pat, pat.
Спасибо.
I've seen strong men turn themselves inside out for hours. You are facing tough odds here. Alcohol withdrawal makes it considerably harder.
Ой, ладно. Чего не могу удерживать это в себе? Годами работал.
I've seen captains puke their guts out. It never gets easier. You never get used to the smell. Every Monday is cadaver day. Throw up, investigate. Throw up, initial autopsy. Throw up, bag it. Then drive to the station. Maybe throw up on the way there if you didn't bag the thing tight enough.
Ну ты в порядке.
I think I've lost my sense of smell.
A white lie.
Not being hungover helps too.
Ладно, ладно, ладно. А пятого варианта нет? Ладно.
No. This is a two-man assignment because it needs 2 officers to complete. I need your help.
Окей.
You need to get your shit together.
Окей.
We should go talk to the locals. Find something else to do while the wind changes. It's pretty bad right now.
You've gained a thought. When this dialogue is over, go to your thought cabinet.
Give it half an hour. Get yourself...
Нашатырный спирт не помог. Тряпка собирательства. Так. Чё? Так. Ладно. Пойдем поговорим с чуваком. Почему, собственно, тряпка. Эй! 0%. Ну, нереальных 30 минут, а этих самых. Я надеюсь.
Can I help you?
Включная.
Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for.
Шмотки.
How strange. I certainly didn't put them there.
У кого еще есть ключи от бака?
The trash collection service, CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threads that solves itself down the road. Thank you anyway.
Окей, кто из сотрудников?
Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my staff. None of us would tamper with the crime scene.
Может, ты просто
I think
забыл?
fugue states are more your forte, officer.
Ах ты говнюк. Ах ты говнюк. Ладно.
Yes.
Так.
Another
Ну-ка.
thing. Great. Yes.
Странно. Сейчас будет час дня, можно будет зайти на кухню.
Hello again, sweetie.
Говнюк еще обозвал меня. Ой, извините, Кая. Хватит тыкать. Не могу. Оскорбления. Сплошные оскорбления. Некуда пойти несчастному алкоголику. Так, хорошо, журнал. Что там у нас? Так. Окей, спойте под караоке. Угу. Так, пойдем к машине.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
Взяться.
Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Так, Сири, возможно, она сообщила об убийстве.
Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over. Roger that. 10-10.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Окей, Сильвия.
Of course. What is the number, officer?
Ким Гарти дал номер?
Yes, hold on. Her number is 005 1944 298.
Received. Hold on, officer.
Give it a minute. She might be busy at the moment. Takes a bit to get to the phone.
Officer, I have Sylvie Malaika on the line for you.
Ей!
Yes, hello?
Так, у меня есть пара вопросов по поводу последних ваших дней на работе.
Oh, right. Hello, officer. What can I do for you?
You can hear resentment in her tone. She's not thrilled to be talking to you again.
Полицию вызвали вы?
No, not me.
Чуть не вы.
What? Of course it bothered me. But I thought the union already knew about the court.
При чем здесь профсоюз?
No one calls the police. The union would get angry.
В смысле?
You know, what the union says goes. People listen to them and they take care of their own, which is like everyone here.
Какой интересный у них тут распорядок.
Garbage.
Подожди, Ким, серьезно?
Legally, no. In reality, yes. Martinez is de facto policed by the dock workers union.
Words are not necessary to feel the lieutenant's discontent for the situation.
Ладно, давить я не буду. Ладно, хрен с тобой.
I don't know what to tell you, officer. I didn't call you because I didn't want to get in trouble with the others.
Знаете, кто звонил? Да.
Sorry about that.
Да, ладно.
No, sorry. I don't. Not a lot of people have phones around here. Copper thieves take the wires.
Прекрасный мир.
People don't have the money to have the cables put in again. They use the union's phone or the one on the coast.
So the union has a phone, and there's one further down the coast. Got it.
Так, один на берегу и у профсоюза.
It was someone else. We'll find them sooner or later, officer. It just might take a while.
Yeah, go on.
Вы не видели мое удостоверение?
Yes, I know who you are. You're a police officer. The law.
This exact conversation has happened before. Establishing authority before this young girl seems to have been important to you in the past.
Я говорю, удостоверение, потерял.
Oh, no, I haven't, sorry.
Real policemen have uniforms too, by the way. Where's yours?
Так, подожди, у Кима нет формы, ничего, он вполне настоящий. Да.
He's in plain clothes, voluntarily. It's different from not knowing where your uniform is. There are officers who wear the signature Perseus black uniforms to the highest ranks in the RCM and end up buried in them as well. Others do it more casually. Looks like you're one of them.
Пистолет мы не видели.
Please, no, not this again. Everyone saw your cool gun, detective.
Я показывал вам свой пистолет? Я уже знаю, что это будет.
You were trying to impress some people with it. Everyone was eating, and
Да, и что я сделал?
you were waving it around in everyone's face, begging them to describe it. You said it calms you, and then you started making suicide jokes. It got pretty graphic.
Отлично, чувак.
Those again. I have been trying to wean you off them.
Творите чего?
You know, when you put your gun, your actual gun, on your temple and pretend to shoot your brains out, off of that, people don't like that.
Да ладно.
I remember this. You were screaming things like, "My brains are all over the wall, painting them red. I won't be seeing it, 'cause these are my brains. I can't see without my brains." Very nice visuals there. Some poor sod was trying to eat his pudding while you were screaming, spit flying, imitating the mercy shot right next to him. Spat some in his food. I don't think he touched it after.
Да, не знаю, что и сказать.
Me neither.
Ой, ладно. Так.
No idea. All I know is next you were waving around money instead, saying things like big bucks cannot lie and guns can't buy money, but money can always buy guns.
Класс.
It almost looked like you pawned it, but believe me, I did not ask.
Окей. Форму мою не видели?
Uniform? I never saw you in any uniform. You had your things on, the disco things.
Окей. Как мои бумаги оказались в мусорном баке?
Well, you tried to jam it down the toilet, sir, clogging it completely. After I had unclogged the toilet and retrieved the paperwork, I threw it out in the trash, thinking you didn't need it. I am sorry about that. Anything else, detective?
Вы уволились из танцев, почему?
You mean why did I leave the bar? Honestly, I'm not really comfortable discussing it with you, sir.
Полицейские годы, пацаны, полицейские годы. Ладно, из Загарта.
What? No, why would you even think that?
То есть, он сказал, что пригласил вас на свидание. Не приглашал?
Please, don't bring Gar into this. It's none of your business. I already said I don't want to talk about this. You're messing everything up again.
Ладно.
I do hope so. Please, don't call me again. Bye.
Так, эмпатия.
Yes, you have obviously done something to upset her at the Whirling in Rags when she was still working there.
Ай, я ничего не помню.
I'm not mad. It's just you were so drunk and so emotional all the time, and then the skua thing happened. It just made me want to quit.
Что за история с поморником?
The stuffed bird, the great skua. You threw it against the wall while screaming "fuck that bird" and laughing like a maniac. I think you
Хорошо
said
погулял.
giving you shit ever since you got there.
Так. Ну почему я всегда... Да, почему всегда все ломаю?
It was a pretty bird. There since I started working in whirling. I really liked her. We call her Scotty.
There's genuine sadness in her voice.
То есть вы уволились из-за меня?
Yes, obviously. You were the worst client I've ever seen. And I have seen so many assholes in this place. I've had sailors fighting, union guys grabbing my ass, kids stealing booze. Once a guy was glued to the karaoke machine every night for 2 months. But you,
Ну давай, фигач.
well, you were worse than all of them. Honestly, you were getting borderline aggressive. Even about little things like not turning down the volume at 3 a.m. I even liked one of those songs you kept listening to on repeat. No more. I hate it now.
Какую песню?
We Go On by the O.O. I can't listen to it anymore. You've turned it into a parody.
Сори за
To
песню.
hell with that song. Then there was your room. Your project. An experiment to see how bad it can get in there. I tried to send the cleaner.
К вам уборщицу.
Threatened to make me understand. I had no idea what you meant. and I don't want to know. And then you scream something about how you're actually a real cool guy, and no one understands it. One of the coolest guys there is. The coolest guy in Jamrock. Something about disco, too.
Сорян.
And then I had to deal with your toilet. The one you clogged with police documents. Damage downstairs in the kitchen. I won't even mention you waving your gun around, harassing customers, threatening to sing karaoke, threatening to kill yourself.
Да, так себе я был гость.
No, you really weren't. You were simply the worst.
Ладно, мне правда очень жаль, что это потрясающе. Да, нормальный такой рассказ.
I knew I shouldn't have brought it up. Just try not to call me again, and let's pretend it never happened.
Ну, я говорил с Гартом, мне показалось, он думает, что вы ушли из-за него.
Wait, really? No, this is absolutely not true. I like Gart. I really do.
Разве он не перешел черту?
No, I was actually flattered. I've always liked him. It was just bad timing. With the corpse and all that.
There's a pause. You can almost see her on the other side. The telephone cord coiled around her index.
I didn't know what to say to him later. Then you came and destroyed the place. So I left without explaining.
Ну, могу ему сказать.
Okay, but please don't mess it up. Please don't take out your gun or something.
Так. Песенку.
All sorts of things. From disco, rock too. So much disco and rock.
Диско и рок. Не поможете опознать эту песню?
Which one would that be?
Грустно-грустно.
Sad? I think the one you mean is the smallest church in San San. Richard, that right up.
Так.
Interesting. You still have to find it, however.
Угу. Как пойдет. Ай, ладно, пока.
You hear a sigh of relief on the other end of the radio. Wordless, the call breaks. Then, the already familiar voice.
Anything else I can help you with, officer?
Я пока закончил, спасибо.
57.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering.
Поем. Не, ну как пойдет, но раз мы такие крутые, чё бы нет. Чё там?
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your copo type.
Copo type? What the fuck is copo
Yes.
type?
Guess what's yours?
Cop superstar, I
That
guess.
is only a ludicrous stage. Guess again. You're the...
Cop with a gun.
No, you're the sorry cop.
No.
Who's sorriest? Let's make it official then, shall we? Huge lack of enthusiasm going on in here.
А другие копы типа не будут завидовать?
What? Jealous of the sorry cop? I think they'll be fine. Don't worry.
Sorry, cop.
They'll be super, super fine. It'll be totally okay. You can dual copo type from sorry to anything.
Ладно. Не нафиг, мне не жаль, пошел
No, you
нахрен.
don't. Come on. You'll be back to saying sorry in 2 minutes. Stop wasting time and begin the repentance.
Хрен с тобой. I'm
Of
sorry.
course you are. It's okay. See if you can get something out of this, like info. Or maybe every time you say you're sorry, you get $1 million. That won't happen.
Голоса в моей голове, остановите их. Упыри. Долбаные упыри. Что такое?
Volumetric shit compressor. Bizarre scientific news from Rivershore West today, where a police officer's shit has been observed at a pressure of around 495 gigadecimals. These metallic hydrogen levels of shit togetherness were thought to exist only at the center of collapsing stars, not law officials. It remains to be seen how long the shit singularity lasts.
Хорош. Бонусы. Все белые проверки разблокированы. Лимит улучшений повышается до 4. Принять. Прикольно, это перки, значит. Посмотрите. Это жалкий кусок дерьма. Сука, жжешь. 3 бесплатных слота, я понял. Так. Минус 2 логика. Все равно вряд ли, понятно. Ладно, это я потом посмотрю. Сейчас не до этого. Пойдем поговорим с менеджером. Потом пойдем к трупу. То есть имба мысли? Имба мысли. Какой кошмар. Так.
Can I help you?
Она ушла не из-за тебя, а из-за
Wait,
меня.
what? But what about the bird?
What about the bird?
Yes, the bird. I found it lying on the floor with a broken wing the morning she left.
Это я сломал.
You broke the skewer.
Кажется, я зря это сказал.
I assure you it was him.
Спасибо, Ким. Сука.
It's as if he can't decide whether to be angry or relieved that it was you again.
Why on earth did you have to break the skewer?
Может, у меня к нему вендетта?
I can't believe it. I was so sure it was Sylvie. Even worse, I thought she was trying to send me a message. Symbol of hope and all.
A tender type of hope. Something stirs in you. Perhaps this is why you broke it.
All right. Did she say anything else? About me, you know? Did she say anything about me?
Сказал, что она причина, просто момент был неудачный.
Really? I should give her a call then. Thanks, I guess. Was there anything else you wanted, or...?
Нет. Так, у нас кухня открылась. Пойдем посмотрим на кухню. Подожди, левелап. Ну, офигли, давайте добьем.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's call.
Белые проверки, которые ты провалил, можно открыть, вложив очко в навык проверки. А? Что? Какая сука? Что? Ладно.
As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely
посмотрим.
foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garancy and Kubek. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Garancy Kubek. Please. It's not funny.
Это смешно. Гаранц, у меня к вам пара вопросов.
The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air.
Впечатляющие кастрюли.
He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove.
Оставайтесь маскулинным.
Yes? Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation.
Нам будет проще работать, если мы наладим отношения.
That's a fair point. All right, for the good of the investigation, what do you want to know?
Ты не похож на других людей в
It's
округе.
because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. My father's father was from Seoul. So was my grandmother, but from my mother's side. It's not an interesting topic.
Что такое соль?
It's a part of the world, officer. A geopolitical entity and a geographic division. I told you it wouldn't be interesting.
Seoul is a protectionist, isolationist, pan-Isolari state west of the Insulindian Isola. Actually, it's quite interesting. Some
Да
would
ладно.
even say mysterious.
Mysterious.
You're barking at the wrong tree. I don't speak a word of Seolite. I've never met either one of my grandparents, and I've never been to Seoul. I'm a regular Revacholier.
A point of pride to him.
Окей. На тебе очки?
That's correct.
You feel a slight urge to put the lieutenant down for this, but you can't quite muster enough testosterone.
Ладно,
I guess
заметил.
you don't need glasses then.
Тонко. Скажи тайну.
No.
Ну ладно.
Your brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. Something is paralyzing them.
Что со мной
You're pretty
происходит?
sure it has something to do with the lieutenant's eyebrow.
Something the matter, detective?
This guy's got authority off the charts. With just the flick of his eyebrow, he's able to make you his thrall.
Окей, я сделал тест, с этим что-то могу?
Nothing. You better hope he doesn't abuse his authority. There's a lot of it.
Беззвучная стена, взывая о помощи.
If the lieutenant were an evil man,
Evil
who
man.
knows what sort of havoc he could wreak.
Это прекрасно, ну давай.
Fortunately, he's a committed officer of the RCM.
Суперсила.
Only uses powers for the good of the investigation. The lieutenant relaxes his eyebrow, and you seem to regain control of yourself.
А ты разговариваешь с самим собой?
What do you mean?
Ну, когда думаешь, у тебя бывают такие типа диалоги?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The lieutenant's conceptualization skills must be rather rudimentary. The lieutenant is a police officer of the old school. His
Old school.
concerns are material and extrinsic. But this isn't an old school case.
Ты из олдскульных детективов, уважительно
So
кивнуть.
what? That makes you the new school? God spare us.
Шуточки.
For real detective work, nothing beats a good notebook by your side.
The lieutenant produces his small blue notebook and idly thumbs through a few pages. That's where his conversations with himself take place. We all have our different mediums. His is written.
Да, как и у меня.
Good. Let's change the subject.
Так. Что за дверь?
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue.
Painted blue.
You
Okay.
immediately feel drawn to the color. Blue is for mystery. The
Потрогать.
cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame on every side.
И куда она ведет?
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads?
Ну, стоит заглянуть.
Yes, I suppose it's worth seeing if we can get in. Just to be thorough. As a side investigation.
Главное дело и дело двери в итоге сольются в одно стерео
If you
расследование.
say so. Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
The door does not.
Окей. Ким хорош, Ким очень хорош.
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it? A lot. For the room? Like what?
Ладно. Так, это не откроется пока, да? Пойдем труп смотреть. Ну. Не пей кровь, Microsoft Office. Дети, вы задрали.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is it ha ha ha. Again, the corpse laughs at you, pus dripping from its mouth.
Сука,
You will never be able
58%.
to hold it in. It's always too much.
Не обновляется диалог, если ветки появилась новая строка, я понял.
Every time it happens, it gets worse and worse. There's nothing more to throw up now. All that's left is crying and convulsing dryly at the same time.
Да как это вообще возможно?
As well. I could swear your shit was together, detective.
Sometimes even that is not enough.
Officer, you just need to be stronger. Learn to keep it in long enough for...
You can open this white check again by going to your character sheet and spend...
Relax. It's okay if you don't make it today.
Пошел ты нахрен. 58%. Какого черта? Пошел нахрен. Нахрен пошел. Пошел нахрен. Игра, ты сволочь. Игра сволочь. Игра надо мной издевается. Нехорошо так поступать с веселыми... С веселыми мной. С веселыми мной. Нехорошо так поступать. Понимаете? Тех, кто бухает, к боженьке без доклада допускают. Вот так вот. Что? Так, здесь сохранись. Давай уже, блин, придурок.
There he still is, looking ha ha ha.
Да ты издеваешься. Тебе способности, да, 1387% не провал. Патрик, кстати, умоляю, я пару лет подряд играл в Веснот. Я и 95 проваливал 5 раз подряд. Все нормально.
There he still is, looking as you breathe.
Аллилуйя,
the
сука.
odor comes over
Извините.
you. It's a spell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty. With your hands at your sides and your eyes squinting, you stand in it.
Подойти поближе.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enamel boots.
Да я уже проходил
His skin
с
is
7%, было
greenish,
смешно.
marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity.
Поэтому-то и
A
шанс.
fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength.
Посмотри ботинки.
The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them. Delicate and fragile, they feel alien to the world around you, out of place somehow. These are clearly not boots. They're armor, possibly part of a larger set.
Это броня.
Indeed. Technically speaking, these are sabatons, not boots.
А что именно за броня?
Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be.
Где?
Under the hill. Fairweather. Fairweather model T500VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff.
А что случилось с остальными частями брони?
The locals probably scavenged it. It would be out if you had no more after 7 days. We should keep a lookout for these species. The armor could yield information. This is one thing he might actually know.
Может, из брони были только эти ботинки?
No, I think he had something precious underneath the clothes. They had to remove the jeans and shirts we found to get to it. And this kind of armor is often worn under fabrics.
Nice. That makes sense.
Так. Если ему приказали раздеться.
They usually hang them completely naked for that. La puta madre, the Mazda, the Besmerties, and the like. This one still has his underpants.
Fucking talking about underpants.
Clearly, Kuno would like to interject something here, but there's not enough for him to hold on to.
Такой материал выглядит здесь неуместным.
It is. It's expensive.
Okay.
We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. In that time, we've lost 6 men to semi-automatics.
И какие суммы идет речь?
For a full set, about 4 years of wages.
Оу.
For the northwest region of Revachol, an officer's average yearly income is 5,500 real, unadjusted for rank.
Баблишка, детка, кивнуть ботинком.
By catching, do you mean let's not log them as evidence? Let's steal them?
Да нет, и нет, хотел
Of
сказать.
course.
Как он мог себе позволить такую броню-то, а?
That's for us to find out. Mr. Gart implied he was security personnel for the harbor company. This confirms my own assumptions.
Слишком круто для простого охранника.
I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
Так, постучать по
A
ботинку.
small bell-like sound fills the air, like tapping on the side of a porcelain cup. The pry bar in your hand is itching for some action.
А ну долбануть.
The metal connects with the same ding. The sound does not appear to get louder.
Did you hear that? A click?
Да, как катящаяся игральная кость.
This is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads the incoming energy horizontally, from plate to plate. When the plates connect, there's a click. That's the
Хрена
sound
себе.
you heard. See these lines?
Ну,
Faint, organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. These plates then divide into smaller plates until there are hundreds of them altogether.
охренеть.
Like whirls of floorboards, the design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood materials, like lignum vitae and ebony perhaps.
Это мне что-нибудь напоминает?
If trees were made of porcelain, this is what their cross-sections would look like.
Провести пальцем по линиям.
The smooth, glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate interconnections, peaking on the right sabaton, where you notice. The whirls are in the shape of a letter and number combination, E50, 100, 1000.
Слушай, похоже, на правом сабатоне указан серийный номер.
Good. Can you read it to me?
Окей, на.
We have a make and a number. That's something. We can use the radio in my kinema when we're done. Either station can chase it for us.
Окей, потянуть за ботинок.
This feels dangerous. Are you sure?
Да!
The stench fills your nostrils. As you push downward, an ominous creaking sound comes.
Stop! Pig's gonna pull his head off.
Brutal!
Что такое,
We're
лейтенант?
about to pull his head off.
Do it, homo!
Так можно и голову оторвать,
Yes,
да?
that's what I said. You'll compromise the coroner's case if you do. So please, don't.
Indeed, from this angle, it does look like the neck isn't going to take much more. Being dead for a week has all but liquefied his muscles.
What are you trying to achieve anyway? Why are you hanging on to that boot?
Просто хотел попробовать.
Try what exactly?
If you can't experiment, how will you learn?
Второе, я
I
эксперимент
see
хотел.
what you mean. But even so, there's no way you're getting them off. All the organic matter in his body has been flowing down into the boots.
Простые в ноги.
They
Ну,
are fused to his feet now. Why do you think the locals haven't scavenged them yet?
подожди. Мы не слушаемся, мы слушаемся Кима. Ким страшный.
There might still be a way to peel them off, but first the body needs to be down. And second, it would probably be better if the lieutenant wasn't around.
Отличный план.
The anticipation makes you crack your fingers. feels nice. Nice and comfy.
О, господи. Здравствуй.
Сота подчеркивание Вачеметнул 5000. Здравствуй, Кача.
Кача,
Хотел
здравствуй.
тебе в декабре задонатить на прохождение этой игры, но
Так.
постеснялся.
Так.
А ты, смотрю, уже проходишь. Короче, лучше поздно, чем никогда.
Привет, Сотовоз. Заказы принимаются на Донат Алерт, карту или Яндекс.Мани. Ну, в смысле, не Донат Алерт, а Донат Стрим, короче. Не через ГГ. Но спасибо. Ну, ладно, будем считать, что заказ принят, потому что часть этого туда, часть этого сюда. Короче, ладно. Тихонечко пройдем. Но на будущее не через ГГ. Причина очень простая. Через ГГ можно вывести только раз в месяц. На самом деле. Но спасибо большое. А чё ты постеснялся? Чё ты стеснялся-то? Чё стесняться-то? Стесняться-то чё? Все свои люди. Ну, с голыми жопами, конечно, не сидим, но вы не видите. Может быть, я сижу с голой жопой. Я, по-моему, врастаю в своего персонажа. Я вообще не понял, к чему я сейчас это сказал. Окей, что тогда будет с ботинками?
Processing will take care of them. With the situation in the morgue, it will yield nothing. But we must pick our fights. Should we continue?
Спасибо в любом случае, Сотовойс, огромное. Я думаю, что пройдем потихонечку. Просто это займет время какое-то. Ладно, отойти посмотреть на труп.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos, and extremities blotched pink and blue.
Можете спешить. Ну, потихонечку, потихонечку. Осмотреть ремень.
The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch.
Продолжить.
This is a steel-reinforced cargo lashing belt. Big brother of the regular cargo belt. It's used for tying cargo under six-rotor airships.
Это ремень для швартовки грузов на воздушных судах.
Airlifting. I thought it was used on lorries for strapping cargo to them.
Походу, это армированное для перевозок, об этом говорит мой мозг.
The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get the sense they use whatever was found without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves.
Как они вообще его туда подняли? Начнем с этого, да.
A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around.
Они что, забрались наверх по детской лесенке?
That ladder can't carry a grown man. I didn't see any splintering either, did you? I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt to close the buckle.
Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory.
Ну, возможно. Они явно хотели, чтобы он остался на дереве. Канат армирован стальными волокнами.
I was afraid it would be. Thin steel wiring, parallel strands. This makes getting him down more problematic than I had assumed.
Мы полагаем, что это дело рук портовых рабочих.
The brief suggested as much. Politically motivated by the ongoing strike. Did you not get a briefing?
Нет.
Then you should ask me the first moment we get.
Ладно,
The
отойти.
cadaver hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp and torso covered in tattoos.
Смотреть татуировки.
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart.
А Blade Runner все равно надо будет вам показать. Blade Runner эпичен. На него вышла оптимизированная версия на Гоге. Blade Runner прекрасен. Там можно играть за этого самого. Ну, короче, там весело. Так.
His corpse is marked by stars.
А чем отмечено мое?
Alcohol and heartbreak.
Ой. Так. Это карта ночного неба?
A map of the stars. I do see some similarity to astronomical charts. Great Century Messina, maybe. But this seems more particular. Customized somehow.
As if someone left out most of the night sky, filtering it through personal choice. The principle of this filter remains unknown to you. the thought dissipates, and you feel as though you were only half right.
Ну хорошо, я что-то упускаю.
He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears. Some sort of camera.
Чё это?
A Trigger Sunshine Mini.
Объяснил. Спасибо.
Triggered is the world's leading manufacturer of intercommunication devices, primarily projectors. The camera before you looks familiar somehow.
Как-то называются эти экшн-камеры, которые херы что-то там. Ладно.
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck is that?
Пулемет.
An instant color camera.
Так, он достает две ампулы с металлическими крышками и защелкивает их в отсеке на боку аппарата. Тонкая щелочка светится.
I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper, rolling out.
А, инстант-камера, я понял. С печатью.
In case we need it.
Крутая техника.
Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
В смысле, зачем? Я и так знаю, показывать.
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter to us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around.
Ну, я бы посмотрел попозже без этого трупного смрада.
Just don't lose it.
Спасибо.
The glossy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin as colorful as the chemical rainbow on the photo paper, teeming with opportunistic organisms.
Ладно, посмотрите ему в глаза.
His eyes are milky white and blind to the world, protruding comically from their sockets. There is no one home, just subaquatic terrors there. Dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an unrecognizable mess.
Окей. Ролим.
I'm gone.
Спасибо, я разговариваю с трупом. А где ты?
Into the wild pale yonder.
Это где это?
In the past. Way out in the west.
Окей, я вижу, что тебя уже нет, но кто ты?
I'm a joke. Look at me.
Ну с кем ты был при жизни?
A killer. A motherfucker. And a killer.
Другой
Go
вопрос.
ahead, Cobbo.
Что происходит?
What do you mean?
Я с тобой разговариваю.
It's the power of your
Ой.
imagination.
Я хочу увидеть экранизацию этого дерьма, серьезно.
Yeah, man! Don't be crazy!
Всё, галстук
Inanimate objects
поехал.
and dead people can't really talk to you. Your wild imagination is doing this. Ask some more of those questions you love so much.
Кстати, вспомнил, что хотел пересмотреть «Самурая Джека», чтобы посмотреть последний сезон. Ладно.
He loves those.
Ну, насчет психопатии. Почему я действительно так люблю вопросы?
Because you're a copperoonie. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions?
Выдай мне гомерически смешное количество вопросов.
Coming right up, copperoonie, Rooney. This is getting upbeat now.
Меня зовут Руни.
Fuck no. You're no Rooney.
Но мне действительно кажется, что я Руни.
No, you don't. Between you and me, your name is probably Harry.
Да. Почему мне кажется, будто я забыл что-то ужасное?
Because you have
Кто тебя убил?
love did me in, brother Cobbo. It was love all along.
А ты можешь задать мне вопрос?
Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question. Why are you doing this?
Что делаю?
Looking at my face, motionless. Looking into my eyes. Standing here. Why are you investigating my murder?
Может быть, это к чему-то приведет, к чему-то неописуемому, непредвиденному, чудесному.
Something is on its way. Something hidden. It's coming. A miracle from the northwest, and it's almost here. You can feel it in the air, on your hands. The cold spring air smoothing them over.
Окей, ты противный, скучный и вонючий.
Do I remind you of someone?
Хорош!
A child
Даже
born
труп меня
with
троллит.
Miller's disease, harlequinism, grown up miraculously.
Арлекинизм.
You sure we got out of that one? Coppellini.
Смешно.
Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also
А он хорош. Даром, что мертвый.
in your dream.
Ну чё, как будем снимать его оттуда?
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's done.
Да вроде все сделали.
So am I.
Так, ну не пойму, с какой стороны с ним лучше подойти, говорит Кимкурат с Кицураги.
He doesn't actually think the challenge is unique. He thinks it's frustrating, annoying, and harder than he thought.
The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting the airship strength.
Мы можем отпилить ветку?
Climb up there and saw the branch?
Да,
There has
опасно.
to be a less risky way, with less falling down of trees.
Может, по порту кого-то
I was
попросить?
really hoping we wouldn't. The Union appeared to be suspect in this case. It seems like a dangerous route to go down.
Да, давай еще
But
подумаем.
what other options? The corpse twists on the belt, like chicken on a skewer.
Хорошо, а кого-нибудь подсобить?
Someone else? You mean like the police?
What was that about processing, then? Weren't they supposed to take care of the boots? Why don't they help?
Кого-то ниже детектива по званию.
Someone like a paid garbage man? Or a cleaning crew? I have bad news for you. That is a detective.
Хорош.
I know it's hard, but I assure you, the others won't come to help us. And we have a growing sanitary concern here. We need to get him down, fast.
Ладно, если отстрелить ремень.
Yeah! Bang bang time, pig! Shoot his head off!
How?
Where the buckle ties the rope to the branch. That's a good spot to aim.
Ну, вон там, вон, пряжка. Пряжка.
Where? Ah, yes, I see. If the shot hits that, there might be a chance to release the belt.
Yeah, now we're talking. Entertain a Kuno with some shit.
They'll miss! The pigs will miss Kuno!
Лейтенант, стреляй, что плохого может
I
случиться?
blow his head off.
Take it! Take the shot!
Дети веселые.
Yeah, take the shot. Kuno wants some of that shit.
Silence. With his elbow sharp, the lieutenant unzips his jacket and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks. That's a Kiel A9090 Armistice, mass-produced muzzleloader, ascetic, frugal, one of the most common firearms in the world.
Забраться нельзя.
He then steps back and assumes the fellow's death's position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on the trigger.
He's gonna fucking miss!
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surrounding tenements. A cloud of smoke slowly parts in the air as the lieutenant steps back and says to himself,
God damn it.
Промахнулся.
He feels bad about his eyes mostly, just having bad eyesight, probably from a young age. Whatever you do not console him.
Fucking idiot! Mukabat asshole!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he?
Наберись!
Remain collegial, officer. It was an honest mistake, and I will not repeat it.
Попробуешь еще раз?
No, we are lucky as it is. We didn't break anything, and the victim remains uncompromised. Any more mistakes could put us in an unfortunate position with the locals. We have eyes on us. I didn't do us any favors with them.
Что
I
теперь?
have to say, it's beginning to look unlikely we can get him down without assistance.
Ну пошли в порт.
Okay, they do have the tools and the men. And since it looks like they put him there...
Они его снять смогут.
Okay, let's do it in the lousy, dangerous way.
Как мы пойдем в порт?
From the gates, by negotiating or fighting. Or we can try the secret route we found, where your cloak is. It looked doable.
To the gates. Let's negotiate.
Разве это не опасно?
To ask the suspect for help with the victim's body? To be indebted to Everard Clare? Very much, yes. Which is why I would have preferred us to handle this ourselves. Clearly we can't.
Suck my dick, bitches!
Кто такой Эврар Клэр?
The leader of the Union. A dangerous and corrupt man, from what I hear. You don't want to owe him much.
Yeah? Don't go being someone else's bitches. You're Kuno's bitches.
Так, это весело. Набрали непонятной херни. Так, подожди-ка. Тут можно взаимодействовать.
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso of the hanged man, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time the lines intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart.
Ладно.
It still kind of looks like a map of the stars in the night sky. But
Что значит эта татуировка?
for you to discover, you've gotten as far as you will without assistance. Someone who knows about history could tell you. Gone.
Окей. Куна бесит. Так. Отходя от трупа. Да, примерно так и есть. Хотя... Ладно, пойдем-ка. Кто знает историю. Я, мягко говоря, не всех опросил, поэтому тут такое. Это что за херня? О боже, тут еще что-то.
This Postler Vantorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito. A closer inspection reveals 2 bullet holes in the front.
Хороший ящик.
The box seems happy. Eat shit pig, fucked by the coon, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox also.
Я тебя хорошо понимаю, почтовый ящик.
The mail collection box seems cathartic, thankful even. So do you. You shudder, then you swallow.
Что это такое? Так, тектонического воздействия тротуар треснул. Землетрясение. Сколько что еще? Так, пойдем по рации поговорим, вот что.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Серийный номер бронированных ботинок, пожалуйста.
Sir, officer. What's the number? And the make of the armor, if you know it. Got it. I'll contact the ICP database immediately. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have dug up something useful by then.
The International Collaboration Police, ICP, is an inter-Isolari law enforcement service. The crown jewel in the moral intern diadem alongside EPIS and the coalition government.
This is Sylvie Manet. Yes. Hello? Oh, great. What else do you need to test?
You hit.
Anything else I can add? Just
10-4, come in, officer. Over. Roger that. 10.
Окей. Так, а там эти гады не объ... А, ну они, наверное, вечером приедут. Мне еще 100 рублей, говорит, найти надо.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to.
Окей. Поставим так поместней. Полуобнаженная дама. Объектское пламя. Книга про паштет, это гениально.
Hello, sir. Step
Здорово.
right in. The store is open.
Здравствуй.
Are you interested in a new and exciting book?
Что у вас тут за магазин? Нет, не надо сказать.
It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games. It's called Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Окей.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses, little girl.
Что такое настольные
Board
игры?
games are like little games on a table, made to pass the time. There are several different ones, but sailors here mostly buy cards.
Что такое
A
открытки?
postcard is a small cardboard picture. You can write a few words on the other side and send it to your friend or beloved.
Какая умная девочка.
She is unfazed by your questions. She would consider it impolite to point out any perceived weirdness.
That is a book. They have stories inside them. It's like someone told you a story in a really long letter. My pleasure. Anything else you'd like to know?
Пару вопросов можно?
Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books.
Как тебя зовут?
My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock. Feel free to step in and browse our wares.
Ха-ха. А чё ты на холоде стоишь?
I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
Ну, какой прелестный ребенок.
A sudden gush of wind turns the pages of the books on the counters. She covers her face, smiling. But she's cold.
Ты замерзла. Помочь может тебе?
Kind of you to offer, sir.
What could you do to help her anyway?
Безжалостно уничтожил свободный рынок. Смешно.
Thank you,
Молодчина.
sir. I'm happy to help Mum out with the store.
А в школу тебе не надо
I do
ходить?
my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running.
Ну, ведь ходить в школу
Mum
важнее.
says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed.
Окей, как идут дела?
Mum says it's peachy. She was a little
Peachy?
afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Cursed!
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards creaking, twisting for a second, and some kind of doubt in her tense shoulders.
Проклят это как?
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go,
Банкротом.
exactly. But we've been doing fine so far.
Я уверен, проклятие выдумка.
They shouldn't be, but they seem real. Anyhow, they say that these grounds are doomed for businesses.
There must be an economic reason for this.
Они не обречены, но твоей матери стоит сделать выводы из их ошибок.
Of course, sir.
Так, ладно. Что еще за детективы?
Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals.
Окей. Преступление и убийство притягивает людей.
And it's kind of like a puzzle too. You can guess who the criminal is, or how the good guys are going to catch him.
А эй, сам
You don't
полицейский.
look much like a policeman.
Окей. А как, по-твоему, должен выглядеть
Didn't
полицейский?
mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen.
Бравый весперский полицейский, который мрачно стоит на тело мертвой женщины. Ну, башка-то важнее.
Head, yes.
No, it's your soul. Your blue soul.
Да ладно.
Not head, child. Heads.
Хэдз. А. Второй, наверное.
Isn't that very dangerous?
Полицейские дышат и живут опасностью. Малину явно не хватает таланта хамелеона.
Unlike you, sir. He's just a fictional character. He's no match for you. Maybe you
Какой
can
милый
show me some
ребенок.
real police work, sir. Like in the books.
Давай. Проверка!
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why is that?
Почему ты все время прячешь руки?
What do you mean, sir?
She knows where this is going.
Ты можешь мне их показать.
She looks around anxiously. Her hands remain folded. In front, the lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you with little interest. A facade of true professionalism. He is far more intrigued by the situation than his poise reveals.
Все хорошо.
She brings out her reddened hands, her nails frayed, nearly chewed down to the flesh.
Ты грызешь
And
ногти.
you knew this from me keeping my hands folded?
Да.
Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
Так, хорошо. У меня есть несколько предположений.
She nods, half provocative, half enthusiastic.
Крысы нет, ладно, ты злишься.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't.
Я надеюсь, что смог тебя
It's
развлечь.
okay, sir.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
Ну ладно, давай сама.
Quite sober.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes effort.
А почему ты решил, что обычно это не так?
Because you usually aren't.
А еще мне грустно, голова болит.
I'm sorry, sir. I hope things get better soon.
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you.
Ребенок
Whole
прелесть.
situation. There's something you're missing.
Так, шестое.
You have absolutely no idea. Familiar? How? You must have forgotten something you heard again.
Ну и пожалуйста. Что такое роман?
It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the good man and the bad man. Or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir.
Бывает, что бедный мужчина встретил богатую женщину.
It happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process. Or should actually be rich himself, but has lost his family property unjustly, like during the revolution or something.
О, понятно.
Those are unhappy books, for most of the pages. People sad about what they have lost, but then it all turns out just fine in the end.
А что если все будут бедными?
That's really not a proper romance story. That's more like everyday life.
Иногда надо писать о настоящей жизни.
Not in romance books, sir. These are about nice and pretty people, and everyone is happy in the end.
А что если оба мужчины плохие?
These are not very common. You can't have a choice between bad and bad. Nobody wants to read a story like that.
А если история будет написана очень хорошо?
Well, maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not to pick either, because she doesn't need a bad man. Yes, that would be interesting.
Так, а если где вообще не ладится все?
I haven't read many of those. Maybe you should ask Mum.
Ты думаешь, у нее есть история о невыносимо мучительном расставании?
I don't think it's a romance story if the main characters break up, though.
Фантомная конечность! Давай, фигач.
No, I don't know.
Ладно, мама спрошу.
Yes, she knows books, definitely.
What was that? An idea for an unfinished novel stuck somewhere in your forebrain?
Здорово, Ранепис. 5.
Maybe some about other books?
Кто такие знаменитости?
Oh, kings and queens and generals of old, or artists and writers, or musicians, those kinds of people. There's usually something extraordinary about them. I think that's why people read them, to find the secrets of their fame.
Seems like most people who read those books fail to get more famous from reading them.
Так, и если читать книги о знаменитости, то самому знаменитым не стать, верно?
But it does make the famous people more famous.
Похоже, что слава это здорово.
Why would they do that, sir?
Потому что я буду копом-суперзвездой!
That's so cool. Maybe they'll make you a book cover picture and everything. Standing over a dead body, holding a gun.
Ладно, пойду. Хороший ребенок, миленький. Полный бардак. Девочка очень вежливая. Очень вежливая девочка. Просто до невероятия. Такие бывают вообще?
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Hyundai somewhere.
Скажите мне книжку про этого культуриста.
Oh, Man from Hyundai. A very popular series of adventure novels. They're awfully immoral and violent books.
А чё, они популярны?
Blood and violence, scantily clad women, epic narratives, all those mystical things he encounters. They're bound to grab those with little imagination and nothing to do.
Звучит неплохо, с какой стоит начать?
What does it matter? They're all the same. However, the customer is always right, they say. If you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend Hyundalaman, the man from Hyundal. It's supposed to be a good introduction to the series.
Денег нет. Книги на полке.
Rows and rows of Hyundalamen blur your vision. You make out some titles. Man from Hyundal and the Mammoth Riders. Man from Hyundal. Return to Hyundal. And the solipsistic Man from Hyundal and the Hyundal Man.
Сколько их?
Maybe 100. Man from Hyundal and the sages at the end of the world. Man from Hyundal and the false god. Man from Hyundal and the scorched earth. Man from Hyundal, the Hyundal colonies. Man from Hyundal and the swamp beast. Man from Hyundal and the snow crabs.
Это все?
Not even close. Man from Hyundal in hell. Man from Hyundal and the forest of slaves. Man from Hyundal under the lake. Man from Hyundal. Hyundal burning. There's even the trial of death. A pastoral combat game set in the world of Hyundalaman. And so much more.
Болевой порог.
A twinge at the back of your head makes you flinch. Your eye starts twitching.
Ай!
Your hand reaches toward a book with glossy cover art of the very muscular man from Hyundal in chains, kneeling in front of a staircase leading to a throne. A woman sits on the throne. She's laughing at him, belittling him. Between the throne and the Hyundala man lies a bonfire, casting shadows on the wall. The shadow of the woman's headdress looks like a pair of devil horns. The title reads, Man from Hyundal and the Devil Woman.
Казалось, все бабы девалицы.
Especially those leering types who seem to wear nothing but an armored bikini. There's also some sort of a snake lizard beast slithering around her abdomen, chest, shoulder region. It's symbolic of vice and sin. The display rack before you is burdened under piles of Man from Hyundai novels.
Ладно, потом посмотрим.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise.
Ассортимент товаров
An
Wirral.
endless variety of source books, lore books, and codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Katawak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrag. Books in a board game section? Who wants to read books?
Так, раз у нас тогда докинули на Disco Elysium, тогда в субботу будет Disco Elysium. Давайте так сделаем. Значит, сегодня Disco Elysium еще, наверное, полчасика, минут 40. Все-таки я все еще устанавливаюсь и устаю быстро, блин, это бесит. Ладно, но потихонечку все-таки сегодня, по крайней мере, будет в итоге 6 часов стрима, и, может быть, я в конце чата включу. Завтра будет, наверное, тогда Baldur's Gate днем, утром, днем. Послезавтра будет Expedition Rome утром, днем. Да. То есть в среду будет Expedition Rome Disco Elysium, в четверг Expedition Rome. В пятницу Expedition Rome... в пятницу лекция, так что я, наверное, лучше подготовлюсь дополнительно. Ну, посмотрим, наверное, утром днем тоже что-то запущу. И в субботу Disco Elysium. То есть как-то так сделаем. То есть раз у нас товарищ докинул, то что, собственно, хрен с ним, давайте добьем. Так, хотя мы только начали игру, я чувствую, что тут часов на 50, наверное, до веселья. Книги в отделе настольных игр. Что-нибудь привлекает тут твое внимание?
There's a box that says Wirral, 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel notes a fantastic adventure board game.
25 реалов. Блин, где столько денег набрать?
A sticker on it displays 25 real. That price is steep, but then it's the 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplement, so it makes sense.
Какие настольные игры есть?
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulinda, a very educational game for those interested in geography. Raubritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after.
Раубриттер!
We have games for the whole family.
Раубриттеры — это такие средневековые немецкие ронины. Оставшись без наследства, они катались по дорогам и грабили проходящих мимо. Раубриттер — это сильно. Ну, бандиты, короче, но очень хорошо вооруженные и профессионально обученные.
Who are you going to play board games with? Do you have friends or family?
У меня есть друзья, смотришь на лейтенанта.
Are you actually friends? Or just colleagues thrown together by circumstance?
Дети, друзья, цыпочки, все есть.
Then you're a lucky man, officer. Children are the greatest of treasures.
Буквально переводится как рыцарь-разбойники. Да, Раубриттер буквально переводится с немецкого как рыцарь-разбойник. Потому что они благородные.
It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations.
Отличная игра. Что такое, что это за товары Wirral?
Lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. You know, if you're into those kind of things. Personally, I don't like it. Not at all.
Not at all.
I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. That they have rituals.
Это
where
отсылка.
they try to summon entities. Highly immoral stuff. You can still buy them, though.
Отсылка, ну там про одного пацана. Короче, когда пытались запретить ДНД, потому что одного пацана его нашли, а он подозревался, короче, бред был полный. Ну, американцы сраные, чё. Так. Подожди. Ну, логично, поэтому и отсылка, поэтому они эту историю знают.
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature.
Смотреть книги.
Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dundas. It's about wholeness, unity, balance. These three things are very important to the working class mind. The point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services.
Каким же образом?
It serves platitudes, while also telling everyone that traditional medicine, the kind people don't have access to, and which costs more than this book, is garbage, and would only give you cancer anyway, without even curing your cold or anything. Wholeness, unity, balance, on the other hand, can basically take care of anything. Though it is important to note, when it's up to your mind to heal yourself, then it's because of your mind that you're ill in the first place.
Ну, тут говорится о чем-то еще.
The book features chapters on topics such as how to find magnesium. It even lists plants you can harvest magnesium from. How to continue drinking if you're an alcoholic who has destroyed his liver. And there's even a chapter on the ancient Seraise tradition of using duck gallbladder preservatives to treat and prevent sexually transmitted diseases. Pre and post factum apply. Nothing worth buying. This is just mundane garbage. What's even paranatural about this?
Третье.
The throbbing in your head increases with every passing moment you gaze at this shelf. Suddenly, as if out of nowhere, a small green book becomes apparent. The title of it reads, Medicinal Purposes of the Pearl.
Что такое серость?
The book contains very little explanation on the matter. This knowledge seems to be taken for granted.
Окей, а о чем эта книга?
The book contains descriptions of various pseudoscientific therapies, alternative medicine, and folk remedies involving the pearl, also known as le territoire. For example, it recommends vigorously swatting one's naked body with a venik or hand broom, made from the leafy twigs of a young birch tree from the near pearl.
Отлично. Бодрит, наверное.
It is, and good for the circulation too.
Что еще?
It also recommends consuming distilled spirits like vodka or whiskey that have been aged in the pearl. Readers are instructed to cover these jars in a shallow hole just inside the pearl and leave them there for 30 to 60 days, depending on the potency desired.
В чем отличается выдержанная в серости выпивка?
Among other benefits, it is alleged
Ребята
to
начитанные,
restore a
конечно.
damaged liver
Ну, те, кто делал игру.
health. That seems improbable.
Надо бы мне такой раздобыть. Что там еще? Не, ладно, как такое
Is it
возможно?
any more improbable than anything else that human beings put their faith in?
Ну, что еще?
For general health and well-being, readers are encouraged to take regular strolls through the pearl, though a sidebar cautions readers to limit each stroll to less than an hour. These strolls promise to cleanse the mind of worries and the body of toxins, especially if the perambulator performs this ritual in the nude. Nudity figures prominently in a number of these prescriptions. This is exactly what you need.
Еще?
There's an entire section devoted to cures for men who are struggling to perform their marital obligations.
Ну, это мне не надо.
You close the book and return it to its place on the shelf.
Окей, что здесь за книги?
Sir, please, no browsing in that shelf. That wisdom is not for free.
Оба!
I can't have you end up, like, opening a police store next door and stealing my customers. Oh no!
Понятно. С теткой все понятно, в принципе.
Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They're held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez. This large map displays archipelagos. You see a constellation of small dots on the light blue emptiness of the Insulindic Ocean. The largest in the northeast is La Caillou. You are here. Another far away in the southwest, Seminese Islands, Ile de Fantôme. Ozon, Laurentide, Fas à la Mer, Archipelagos, North Arcade Islands. all just specks of dust on the vastness of the Insulindic. On the edges of the map, the color fades into a blur of dotted lines, black and white.
Окей. Да блин.
Disintegrating into mathematics. In the northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou, in a bookstore. It's you.
Эй! Сможешь разглядеть на островах города?
You can. On Caillou, Revachol, a single black star. On Ozone, Fondelier, and Vimandu. On archipelagos, Croyan Moran, Villiers. On Seminine, Olduvai, and on Laurentide, Deora of the Seven Seas. Lost little pearls of light, tiny fires in the dark. 850 million people live on these little dots.
Ого.
An oceanic world of culture and commerce torn apart by history.
На края смотрим.
The ocean breaks apart into a tangle of cosines and azimuths, all pointing into pale nothingness. Muindi is the north azimuth. Grad is the northeast azimuth. Samara is the east azimuth. Seo is the west azimuth. Isolas, they're called.
Хорош.
Connections to other worlds. Words past the Insulindian, unknown to you. You only know you've never been there. You have little idea what they are. Distant stars, gods, but looking at them makes you feel almost non-existent. Whatever they are, the Isolas are immeasurably large compared to you, and very, very far away. Perhaps they are gods, gods of distance and outer dust.
Востоке от Самары. Нет, Самара на востоке. На карту
The
Ревашоля.
north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the river Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. La Delta says a great artificial heart in the center, teeming with life forms and construction. To the east, rolling hillsides, Le Jardin, Stella Marie, the suburbs of Saint-Baptiste, swallowed up into the megacity. They sound rich to you. This is Revachol East.
Что к западу?
Hudon, it's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's bad. People shouldn't live there, but they do. Then Forberg. It's almost as bad, and much larger. Then Coal City. It's the worst. It's so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait. There it is. North of Jamrock. The strip of coast next to the Greater Revachol Industrial Harbour. It looks downright despondent. It's almost Coal City, to be honest. No, this is somewhere to be. This is all you have. But it's still something. Streets and sodium lights, the sky, the world. You're still alive.
Окей. Мартинес.
It's not really a map. It's a tourist thing. A picture postcard with buildings on it, drawn from an isometric perspective. A date in the upper right corner says 48. Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see the jagged boxes of an industrial harbour, even the whirling in rags there.
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, you could scarcely afford them. They're quite valuable, though they might not look it.
90.
Martinez is 90 cents, though.
Почему карта Мартинес такая дешевая? 90 сантимов дешевая?
That old thing. It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never was nor came to be. From when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up 4 or 5 years ago. They also renovated the horse statue,
С копейкой понял, да.
set up those coin-operated viewers, and designed the new street lamps.
The place does not look like a successful tourist trap, does
И
it?
что случилось?
They didn't get that far, for some reason. A shame the project never got going. Would be nice if someone fixed Martinez up. All these ruins are bad for business.
Meh.
Slowly, you move your hand toward the map.
Perhaps not. It's against RCM policy to defraud small business owners.
Ладно.
Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
Я с вами с ума сойду. Украсть уже ничего не дает. Китаец, чертов. Так. Там. Я не знаю, зачем я так качаю, это просто забавно.
The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of famous people. You see a large variety of
Чё, кто
names,
расист? Я не
none of
расист.
which
Чё
ring
он?
a bell.
Книги на полке
Browsing
посмотреть.
through all the books with all their names makes your head spin. None of these seem important or relevant. It's all just vapid egoism. Suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love, the tragic true love story of Jacob Irv and Alfie Delatraz. By
Okay.
one Cecilia Averbrook.
И о чем она?
High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of the finest tip-top tourney racers in history.
Да.
One of them is the madcap driver, Jacob Irv. His blonde mane graces the cover. Next to Irv's life story, you see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called the Anti-Star. He's famous for shooting morphine into one of his eyeballs and cocaine into the other.
Что?
Next to that, Revacholian radio personality Guillaume Bevy stands in front of a rundown drug den. He's a permanent fixture on Channel 8, reporting on real-life crime and ruining cops' days.
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for free. Do still browse though, but not too long. I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are browsing. Go ahead. Take your time. Time is commerce. I would say... The Greatest Innocence. Yes, most certainly. It's an important educational tool, delving into the depths of history, religion, and their relation to innocentic power.
Что за херня?
A very influential historical figure. But surely I don't have to tell you that. You're a law officer, and law officers have at least some education. The book is also very daring. The author aims to re-examine the universal understandings of the innocentic system, creating a fresh vantage point and a shift in the tired order of things.
Так вы рекомендуете эту книгу?
Certainly, it's prudent for a person to have at least an elementary understanding of history and society. Imagine the chaos we'd be in otherwise.
You feel like you should get this one. Definitely. It's important somehow. There's something personal inside.
Остался один стеллаж. Хорошо.
These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen. Oh, crime fiction is a disgrace. Asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes of the arduous everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends.
Disgrace.
What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives. Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of all the books found on the shelf?
Да, давай.
You see Dick Mullen on the job. Get Me Mullen. The Stalwart Adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the Murder in the Orchard. The Sordid Affair of Dick Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the Murder House. The Final Case of Dick Mullen. An obvious lie. Dick Mullen in the Clock Tower. The Ordeals of Dick Mullen. Dauntless Dick. Dick Mullen's Funeral Pyre. The Murder of Dick Mullen.
А еще есть?
Yes, there's also The Dame Who Did It. Farewell, My Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. The Morbid Tales of Dick Mullen. a dark tide turned. Tragedy calls for Dick Mullen,
Ah.
another one with fake death. And, of course, Dick Mullen, the murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen? Your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book. The title reads, Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity. A worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic hard-boiled phase. The premise seems to be that Dick Mullen is framed for the murder of his best friend and has just a few days to prove his innocence.
Окей, что в этом такого?
Could it be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals?
Ну я ж такой весь сложный.
Then this is the book for you.
Уважаемая.
Oh, crime, robberies, murders, even sexual crimes. We're fortunate to have Dick Mullen and his stories to sort all that out. You're a police officer, apparently. You should buy all of these. They really do teach a person how to be a proper detective.
Лол. Так, ладно, с ними все понятно примерно. Ну?
Welcome to Crime, Romance and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance. Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
Этот магазин принадлежит вам? А, пофиг.
Sir, don't be ridiculous. I certainly will not give you money. I would be doing you a grave psychic disfavor.
Psychic disfavor.
One has to earn one's success, even if one is a police officer. Handouts are nothing but manipulation. All they do is make you dependent.
Вы поняли? Донат — это манипуляция, из нее вырастает зависимость. Ладно.
Certainly there are good things to be said about dependence.
Могущественный феодал. Это могло бы укрепить наши связи.
Now, hey there. Sounds like someone isn't taking responsibility for the energy they bring into this space. Fighting enemy. My philosophy is everyone just getting along.
Ладно, магазин ваш?
I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
Это ваша дочь стоит у входа в магазин?
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl?
Да.
Wonderful. Did you talk to her?
Да.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
На Гоге Full Throttle ремастер на Гоге за 170 рублей. Full Throttle — это крутая штука.
Her opinion of her daughter depends on how well she lured you into the store.
Да, 10, она чрезвычайно вежливая и обходительная.
Precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette.
Я пришел, чтобы свергнуть свободный рынок и покончить с детским трудом.
You must be kidding. There's nothing like that happening.
Это сколько вы платите ребенку?
What does a young child do with money anyway? No, I save it for her as a fund. She's securing her financial future out there.
Such criminal behavior would not happen in more developed countries.
Так, первое.
Those countries will realize they've raised a lazy and spoiled generation. Are we done with the jokes now?
Вот тварь.
Yes, we've had quite enough fun here. Right.
В курсе, что она грызет? Ну ладно, не буду этого говорить.
Mind your own business, sir. In our society, people don't get to tell each other how to raise their children. It's none of your or anyone's business.
Denial is the way she copes with criticism.
Ногти.
I told her not to do that. It's disgusting. And I told you to mind your own business. Clearly, you have no idea how hard it is to raise a girl in this economy.
This economy is a mysterious force, like cosmic weather, mysterious and harsh.
Вряд ли она может с этим что-то поделать.
She can, if she has enough willpower. This is what's called growing pains.
Вот
Life
дрянь.
isn't easy.
Можно я и
Life has a good
втащу.
break.
Come on, ma'am. It's obvious she can't do anything about it. You are placing an unnecessary burden on a young child.
Так, несомненно... Да. Для дочки стоит сделать исключение.
She stands stiff and severe, silently fuming. 10 or
Им
so
даже придумал, что
seconds
дрянь
pass
какая-то тетка.
without she's looking for one, but there simply aren't any good arguments for being an asshole.
Oh no. Hold on. I need to invite her inside and apologize. She must be freezing out there. There. I don't know what to say to you. My husband, he tries to teach me business lessons. I have what my mother called a dull mind. All this stress.
It sounds like both the husband and the mother treat her the way she treats Annette.
Вы как Анетта для своей матери.
Oh. Well, my mother was horrible, of course. Absolutely perverse energies around that person. But my husband...
My husband is completely different, of course.
Сказал, что перестала ходить в школу.
She's been too busy helping me here. So she studied at home this trimester. This is a temporary solution, of course. I assure you, I of all people understand the importance of education. She will be back in school the moment the store takes off.
And hell freezes over? Never mind. It's not a good topic to get into.
Это он отец Аннет?
Yes, my husband is a successful entrepreneur east of the river.
Entrepreneur.
If only he were more involved in the business we're running up here. No matter. Soon we'll both be off for Grand Couronne.
Grand Couronne?
It's a proper place to live. One of the most peaceful neighborhoods east of Jamrock. You may know it for its massive housing projects. Most of the buildings are empty at the moment. It's a great opportunity to get ahead of the crowds. Better times ahead for sure.
Ваш муж тоже занимается
He made the
магазином?
initial investment. Since then, he's been what you might call a silent partner.
Все хуже.
Super silent, almost inaudibly so.
Ого. Она 11-й ребенок в семье.
Yes, I'm afraid so. A real treat she is. It would be nice if she had... No, we couldn't have afforded more children, really. Not in this economy.
Of course, economy.
Exactly.
Ладно,
The
хрен с
woman
тобой.
looks aloof, her features much softer. Occasionally she glances at her daughter's silhouette.
Если я хочу купить книгу.
You were already doing good, browsing the shelves. Why'd you stop? Don't
Ладно,
you
ладно,
feel
какие книги
everything
есть?
is on the shelves. Take a look yourself.
She smiles and nods.
Так, ну хотя бы ребенка с холоду брали. А?
Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
Снова?
Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But
Пошел в
neither
жопу.
has love. Should we just stop building love too?
Ну да, не поспоришь, да, смешная.
So, what about all that communism you've promised to build? Word on the street is you've woken up from 1,000 years of slumber, promising to erect a version of communism many times greater than any attempted before.
Откуда слух?
You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich.
И да речь это не
Sodomize the
лозунг
landowners,
коммунистов.
impale all
Пятеро землевладельцев.
more than 25 million in their pocket. Literally murder all human beings, regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff.
Да, это на меня похоже.
Funky style. Very funky. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it?
В чем суть коммунизма?
Failure. It's about failure.
Нет, ну какие скоты?
Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped and pissed on. Until you came along. You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world. You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers. Million-headed armies of nations and the love of your own mother.
Эй, меня моя мама любит. Наговаривают.
You against the atom, the charm and the spin. Where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class.
Звучит как описание Рудова, честное слово. Извините.
Now get to work, comrade.
Закатать рукава и начать строить коммунизм.
Oh yeah. Get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready.
До расстрельной команды ты об этом не предупреждал. Скотина. Да, давай. Социал-экономический мао... Чего? Маовизм? А, ну да. Ну... Духовный труп, отвечающий лишь на призыв красного командора, проститута как раз Амазова. Ой. Так, попозже. Motherfuckers.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't talk right now.
You just can't win. Out of the rain and into the gutter.
Выношение.
Because you know each other. She's been talking to you so openly because you've talked before.
Да-да, мы раньше встречались.
Yes, I used to stand out there all the time before Mother told me to focus on my homework. You've been running around all week without your shirt on, sir, telling people about being a star or something. I don't really understand who those stars are. Of course, you stopped by a few times. You certainly look better than the last time I saw you.
Спасибо, я стараюсь.
Yeah, I can see. You don't have party eyes anymore.
Party eyes? Yes, of course. That makes sense.
I'm not surprised children have seen you running around with party eyes on, he thinks. Not at all.
Not at all.
You know, like a cat in the dark, all big and wide-eyed. It certainly looks odd on a man.
The swiveling eyes of a loony drug addict. That is what she meant. You were probably gurning too. Fuck yeah. You should get some party eyes right now. Snap those sequins on you, boy. Oh, baby. That's not what you have to worry about. Worry about the important thing.
Чё ты сразу не сказал, что мы знакомы?
I didn't know I had to do that. I'm glad I could help you, sir.
Милый ребенок. Так. Фу, бардак. Коммунизм еще построить надо. Зачем обалдели?
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
А что за занавесками?
Now, please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel compelled to look at the books? The books are all you care about.
She speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell on you, urging you to buy more books. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become.
А смотри странную безделушку.
You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, a disturbing fish head with eye sockets stares at you. This is a traditional Seminese ward, meant to provide protection against ill luck. bad dreams, curses, and other supernatural scourges.
И кто такие семенинцы?
Inhabitants of Ile de Fantôme, the Semenine Islands down south.
Okay.
Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the
распахнуть.
Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
Дело в проклятии, этого боитесь?
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees. I told you. Now please step away from the curtains.
Да ну нахрен открывай.
No. Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
Talking is always good. Go see what she has to say. There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before
Да хватит.
You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Semenese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
I warned you. You're unleashing forces beyond your understanding.
Да? Чувство Москвы под угроз. Ладно. Так. На сегодня все, извините. Я уже начинаю это самое срубаться, что я днем еще стримил. Ну, я раскачиваюсь потихонечку, извините. Значит, продолжим в среду, где-то часов 6. Надеюсь, сейчас могу подольше играть. Так, сейчас времени у нас 9 примерно, или сколько у нас? 9. Вы хотите качать театр немножко? Или хватит на сегодня? Если честно, я бы хотел посмотреть в субботу. Я в среду буду в 6. В субботу как проснусь. Я думаю, что в субботу мы просто весь день убьем на... Ну, не весь день, прям весь день, но значительную часть дня убьем на Disco Elysium. Подольше пройти. Подальше пройти. Вот. Не, я хотел посмотреть, если честно... В жопу Сёмина. Я хотел, если честно, посмотреть... Я Сёмина буду смотреть только дебаты с Юлином. Мне просто интересно. А посмотреть последние 2 серии Expanse, потому что я их не посмотрел. Последний сезон Expanse вышел, там осталось 2 серии. Там всего 6 серий, по-моему, в сезоне, да. Хотелось бы глянуть. Будете смотреть? Давайте посмотрим. Ну, сериал-то я хочу досмотреть. Так, правда, Twitch и Good Game я отрубаю на этом торжественном моменте. Не Twitch и Good Game, Twitch и Vast. Vast пока. Twitch пока. Twitch приходите завтра на что? На Baldur's Gate? Да. 1, 2, 3, 4.